There's 3 books that I would recommend for everybody.
Okay.
The first book is for people who are coming into money, doing some sales, and want to basically build a nest egg, right? So that's The Millionaire Next Door. If you are fucking up with your money, that book will tell you if you're fucking up with your money.
Or fucking up with your children's money. How to not
That
leave
too.
your children about. Yeah, that's a great book. It was one of the best books I've ever read. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that book right there, if you read it, that's a financial education right there.
Okay.
Then in terms of the future, right? You want to know what's coming around the corner with central bank digital currencies and everything? Go to read The Sovereign Individual.
Right.
It was written in 1997. It talks about Bitcoin in chapter 7, and everything about that is pretty much
The book was written in 1997, and they talked about Bitcoin back then?
Yep, 12 years basically before it ever existed.
They described it basically.
Basically they said
Okay, something similar to it.
currency will become digital, and it will have a public and private key, which is the encrypted version of what Bitcoin did. That's the core of what Bitcoin is. It's the core of what the central bank digital currency is doing. So if you can understand that book, how it looks from going to the industrial age to the digital age, everything these 2 guys just said, that's where I was going with that, was essentially you can see the future somewhat, right? And you can start planning for the digital age, because none of us have been taught how to operate in the digital age. We've all been taught how to operate in industrial society.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last book that I'd recommend is Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. That goes to the past. Basically, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, what that basically tells you is how humans act in a financial market, right? The technology is the only thing that's changed over the last 100 years, and that book was basically about 100 years ago. So they're talking about ticker tape shit. It's really fucking
early
boring.
1920s, yeah. It's really great. They asked, where are all the clients' yachts?
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Remember that
really, really boring, right? But it's like massively important, because if you understand how humans operate with money and how that hasn't changed from the fucking Romans to 100 years ago with what this book is talking about, then you can understand how people will act in the future, and that it all happens in cycles, right? And so cycles of political cycles, cycles of financial cycles, cycles of like the universe has cycles, right? Everything is a cycle. And then if you can really understand that, going back to your God point, right, then you can understand where money fits in the universe. And if you can really understand that, then you can make as much of it as you want, because money is relatively infinite. It's
It's energy.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Especially in this administration.